Welcome back to the Arabic Dress YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful kaftan dress with cord design. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. This is something you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. For this tutorial, I'm working with this crepe fabric for the body of the dress, and then I'm working with this jogger rope for the design. Okay, so there are several types of jogger rope. This comes with design. You can see it has a stripe effect to it, so that is what I am going for. So this comes single like this. It comes, the length is around 56 inches, and it has a decorative design at each tip, which I can also use. So if you don't want yours to be single like this, there are some that comes in yard, so they will just measure it for you in yard, and then you can get it in one single row as long as you want. But this is what I'm going to be using for this tutorial. So the first thing you need to do is to mark out the kaftan that we're working with. So we have several tutorials on how to make kaftan already on the channel, and I don't want this video to be unnecessary, so I have already done that. This is my shoulder slope, this is the front neckline, this is the back neckline, and then here this is my sleeve opening, and from there I just connected it straight down because it's just a simple straight dress. So I'm going to cut the back first. That's the back neckline. I'm going to cut the shoulder slope as well, and then I'll go ahead and cut the side seam. So after that, I'm going to remove the back so that we can cut the front as well. So there are several ways you can attach this rope to your outfit. You can tack it with your needle and thread, you can gum it, I can also sew it with your sewing machine. I highly recommend sewing with your sewing machine because gums can be deceiving, okay, especially if you are making it for a client. You don't want your client to wear it and then the gums start ripping apart, so you do not want that. That's why I recommend, but there are some gums that are very strong as well. I'm going to show you a gum that I have used and is very strong. Okay, so there are several fabric glues that you can use. There are different gums, E6000, E7000, those ones, UHU, those are good gums as well. But this one that I use here, this gum is very strong and it works so well. So I have used it and it works so well for me. But for this tutorial, I am going to be sewing in the ropes. So if you're gumming your rope, if you're gumming it, it means you can easily, you can sew the front and back together before you apply the rope, because it's just gum. So it will be easy for you. You're not going to have any issues gumming them together. But if you are sewing, I will recommend that you attach the rope first to the front with your sewing machine, so that the back is not going to be disturbing you. So if what you're doing is sewing them together, it is better for you to join the rope to the front first before you join your front and back together. That way it's going to be on a flat surface and all the body is going to be exposed for you to easily join your rope. I hope you understand that. Okay, so now that I have cut out the front neckline, you need to draw out the pattern that you want your rope to follow to make it easy for you. Once you have a pattern, all you just need to do is to place the rope on it. So to do that, you can draw whatever pattern that you want. For this tutorial, I'm just going to make a very simple pattern that is not going to take so much time, and then you can finish on time. So like I said, you just go with your instinct with whatever it is you want, and I'm using my chalk to create this pattern. If this is not the tutorial, I'm just going to mark on it faintly, but because I want you to see it, so I'm marking my chalk on it very well so that you can see it, so you can see what I am doing there. So I'm just creating a pattern. Okay, So this is my sleeve. You can see that my pattern extends a little bit to the sleeve area. That's because I want it like that. You don't want yours to extend to the sleeve, you want it only on the bodies. That's where you're going to be making the pattern. So I'm just drawing what I want my pattern to look like, and this is what I have so far. So to make this easy for me, like I said, I'm going to do an easy pattern. What I have drawn here, I'm just going to try to mirror it on the other side so that I will have something similar. You can place it like this so that you can see what you have done on this side, and then you just replicate it. Okay, it doesn't have to be the same thing on both sides. Like I said, it's totally up to you and what you want. So I'm just doing this for my own design. I'm just mirroring what I have on this side. I'm imitating it and then drawing it on the other side. It's as simple as that. You can draw whatever design that you want. So after drawing out your design, that's when you start placing the rope. So the rope that you're going to need depends on how long and how full your design that you have drawn is. That is what is going to determine so you can see what I have drawn here. You can see the neckline. So now the next thing is to bring in my rope. For me, like I said, I'm going to be sewing it with my sewing machine. So you can use an invisible thread for yours, or you can just use, like this rope is a black rope, so I can use a black rope for the upper part of my machine, and then I'm going to use a lemon thread for the lower part, so that the black is what is going to show on the upper part here, and then the lemon is going to show on the lower part, so that the color will not be contrasting. But if you have an invisible thread, since that does not take any color, you can just use that on both sides, so to make the work easier for you. So like I said, if what you are using is a gum, you're going to dab the gum gently on your lines, and then you just place it on it and allow it to glue together. Okay, so now, like I said, I needed something with this design, so, and I could not get it in a long strip, so I just had to go for this short one. So if you want this design at the mouth of the rope, you can also include it, but I don't want it in mine. So what I'm going to do is to just cut it off at that tip there. Okay, so when you cut it off, this is what it's going to look like. You can see that it's exposing the thread that they used there. So to conceal that, what I'm going to do is just to get a lighter gum like this, and then you are going to use it, just dab it, round it like this, so that it can seal the edge. So you can see what we have there. So it's just going to, you don't need to put it too much, just dab it around it like this, and then it's going to seal this edge for you, just like this. So after sealing the edge, you can just use your hand to wrap it, but it's okay even as it is right now. You can see that it's completely sealed. So you are going to do the same thing for the other side as well, and then you start placing it from somewhere. So now I'm using sewing machine, like I said, but I just want to show you how to do this if you want to use a glue. So this is the glue that I am using for mine, because this works very well for me. So, and the mat is very tiny, so it makes it controllable. So following the lines that you have already created, you're going to just press out the glue, and then you place it along that line. So you can see what I'm doing. So make sure it's not too much so that it doesn't start coming out. So I'm just placing the glue like this on it. Then after placing your glue round like this, you're going to take your rope, and then you gently place it on the glue. So you can see what I have. You can even leave it a little bit for it to be tacky, Then after that, you start placing your rope on that place where you place the glue, just like this, following the shape that you have. So with glue you have to be patient. You want it to dry up. You can use a dryer for this as well, just to quicken the process. So you can see what I am doing with my rope now. I'm placing it on the glue, and the glue is very fast. The glue is very fast, so after a few minutes it's going to stick. So if I were to be using a glue, this is how I'm going to continue. So I'll keep dabbing the glue around it, and then I'll continue to place it following the shape that I have created, just like this. You can see. So it is as simple as that. But like I said, I'm using a sewing machine for mine, so I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now, and then I will start to show it. So I'm at the machine now, and I'm going to start to sew. So you can see I have black thread on top, and then I have a lemon thread on that. By the time I bring it out and flip, you are going to see the lemon thread. So you sew as slowly and gently as possible, and then what you do is just follow the marks that you have already created. So I'm just going to sew on the rope gently. You can see I'm just sewing gently so that I can easily follow. So you can see that it will stick. The thread is just going to sew it to the dress, and then you sew as gently as possible so that you'll be able to follow the shape that you have already marked out. So now I'm sewing on it. You arrange it again, you place your rope well, and then you sew. So that is how I am showing this following. So you can see the one that I stick with glue. I want to remove it now. You can see how difficult it is. So if you leave the glue very well, the glue works as well. But I just prefer to sew because you cannot compare anything with sewing. So spread it out very well so that it doesn't squeeze your fabric, and then you sew gently following the shape that you have created. So that is what I am doing. So you can see how far I have sewn. Like I said, I have a black thread on top, and then when you flip to the wrong side, you will see that I'm using a lemon thread. So I could not get exact shade of my lemon, but at least it's still better than just having black at the back. So you just use the same shade of color that you are using for your main outfits for the lower part, and then you use whatever color of rope you are using for this on the upper part. You can see I use black, and you can not see any other color on this. It just blends very well. So if you don't want to use this, you use an invisible thread. I'm still going to show you that when I'm done. So you can also use an invisible thread for both the up and the down. So that is how you're going to continue to sew this till you are done. You can see now that my thread is almost my rope is almost exhausted. So now I'll take another one, and then I'm going to join it here, and then I'll continue sewing it. So you can see, so now I'm placing this. Make sure it meets very well. It mixes at the same point, and then you simply use your hand to roll the machine so that it doesn't shift. So I'm just making sure that they meet at that point. So once they meet, I'll just continue sewing. So now I have attached the second one, and then I'm going to continue sewing it like that, following the lines that I created. So now, if you don't want to join the two ropes together by bringing them close to each other, another way you can join it is by overlapping them, lapping both ropes on each other. That way it may not even show that you joined it. So when you get to the end of one rope like this, you bring the next one, and then you just place it on this very close like this. you place it on the one that is ending, and then you try to use your hand to control your machine. So you paddle gently so that it can just work together. So now make sure that it steps on the next one, and then I'm using my hand to just till you finish. So just use the hand to paddle. So once you are done with the overlap, you continue sewing normally. So that way the ropes are just going to overlap on each other like this. You can see they just overlap, and it's not the way you joined it here that we joined. You just brought them close to each other. For this one, it just overlaps, so you can see that the transition here is smoother than what you have there. Okay, so now I'm done sewing it, and this is what I have so far. So you can see. So like I said, when you want to join, if you don't have a long rope, if you are joining ropes like mine, you have to be mindful of how you join it, because you want it to have a smooth transition. So that was why I did the first one. You can see with the first one, I just placed them on each other. It's not bad, but it is not as smooth as overlapping them. So in this case, you can see I overlapped them on each other just like this. So you will even barely notice that a joint was made here. So if you want to work with it, it's better to overlap it like this, so that it can just give you something smooth and neat. So you can see the difference with just placing them on each other here and then overlapping them just like what we have here. So now you can leave it as it is, but I just feel I want it to be a little fuller. So what I'm going to do on the center part, I want to just create another design. Okay, so I'll create another spiral design on the center part, and then I'll take it to the sewing machine again, and then use my rope to, I used about 4 ropes for the first design that I made. So this center rope, I'm just going to use 1 rope, so that's like 5 ropes in total. So I'll take it to the sewing machine again now, and then I'm going to sew following this new design that I have created. So I'll do that and bring it back. So doing this now, you will see that the center is also full now. It's now fuller than what we have earlier. So I'll go and do this and bring it back to show us. So I'm creating the center spiral, and you can see what I did there. And like I said, this is the method that I trust, because you are sewing it. You can see on the other side, it is completely sewn up. With this, no matter what you do to it, you will be sure that nothing is going to happen to it. It's not going to come off. But you can use glue as well if you want, especially if you don't have a machine and want to do a DIY. So you can use a candle gum. You can use, although I don't recommend candle gum because of stains, but you can use the gum I showed you. You can use E7000, E6000, and all those fabric glues that we have. So now that we are done with this, the next thing I'm going to do is to turn my neckline with facing. I already got out facing for this. You already know how we do this. So I'm going to turn the neckline with facing. I'll do the same thing for the back. I've already cut out facing for the back as well. So I'm going to turn the back neckline as well with facing. Then after that, you place it right side facing right side. You're going to join it on the shoulder, and you're going to join by this side, and then you hem your sleeve and the hem of the dress. So I'll go and do that now and bring the dress to show us what it looks like. Once you sew the sides together and you turn your neckline, this is what you are going to have. You can see how beautiful this is. So if you want it fuller, you just fill it up. You can draw any design of your choice. I hope you enjoy making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe.